Hello and welcome to Cooking with Sag, episode 3. On this episode, we're going to make us some nice spaghetti and meatballs. So, to start off, I'll introduce you to the ingredients. We got our Meyer Glen, that's my favorite brand, crushed tomatoes. I like the fire roasted, that's my favorite. We're going to want 2 cans. Both of them are 28 ounces or 793 grams. We're going to want our nice ground cumin. We're going to want our ground chili pepper, our dark chili powder, our whole thyme leaves, the granulated onion, granulated garlic. We're going to want the oregano leaves. We want to have our nice extra virgin olive oil. We're going to want our Meyer Glen diced tomatoes, fire roasted. And we're going to want to have some tomato paste. I got some hunts on hand. And we're going to want to have our fresh vegetables and whatnot. I'll grab them out real quick. First we're going to want our youngins. Got our youngins, our red peppers, our green bell peppers, and our Anaheim peppers. So we're going to start out here. Grab a nice pan. And we're going to want to put a little drizzle of olive oil in the bottom of the pan. Like so. I'm down to about my last few giblets of it, so I wish I had some more, but weren't thinking. Now, you're going to want to put your peppers in there. Now we're going to want to put our red bell peppers in there. You want to have them diced up. I bought some pre-diced ones, as you can see here. Nice, and you don't want them too small, but you don't want them too big either. You want that nice, healthy in between. Now, grab our youngins. Dump them in there. Now, I'm going to move the pan out the way. I'm going to cut up my Anaheim peppers. Give them a nice rinse first. Okay. Now, I'm going to real quickly grab some rubbers. You don't want to forget your rubbers. Get all that pepper juice on your hands and you ain't going to be able to smell nothing but peppers whenever you put your hand by your mouth. Now we're going to grab us a nice sharp knife. I like using a smaller knife, not a big one. This one will do. Now he's gonna, I like to just cut right around like so, if y'all can see. Like that. Now just gently pull her out like so. Discard the part we don't want. And now I like to put a little water inside her. Get her all nice and rinsed out in there. Now we're going to go right down the middle of her like so. And then cut through on the other side, like so. And then you got these little itty bitty pots in here. We don't want that in here. So we're just going to take a knife and we're going to go right now, cut right there, cut that right out, like so. Get rid of that little strip. And then for the other, same thing, we're going to cut out that little strip right now, like so. And then what I like to do is I like to cut these in little strips and then go across. So I was going to go just like this, right down now, and right down again, and again, and you guessed it, again, like so. Now, I was going to cut right across like that. Watch your fingers, you don't want to lose a finger. Like that. Like that. Now, it'd be nicer to have a bigger knife for this, but yeah, I'm used to using the little one, so we're going to use the little one. Like so. And then, if you can see how he's nice and small here, like it nice and fine, not too fine, but fine. And from there, I'm going to bring you back once I get this all nice and diced up for you. Okay, now we got all the peppers all cut up nicely. Give you a nice look over. As y'all can see, that's about how you want it. Not too bad. Yeah, you cut up nicely. You don't want to have to choke down a whole pepper. You just want a little bite of it. But now we're going to put this right in our sauce. We're going to bring this right over y'all. And we're just going to carefully dump this right in y'all. Like thusly. Well, now we're going to get started with the spices. So we're first going to start out with a ground cumin, and we're just going to do about 6 shakes. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it looks a little light. So let's go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'll say about 25 shakes of cumin. You want to make sure you can taste the cumin when you put it in there. So next, we're going to grab a chipotle chili pepper. Now this one you want to go nice and easy with. It's got quite a kick to it. So we're just going to go just a real nice 1, 2, 3. We're going to say that's about enough. Just want 3 shakes of chipotle chili pepper. Now we're going to grab a dark chili pepper. This one's not quite so hot. So we're going to go get this situated, y'all. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 looks about right now. Now we're going to grab a whole thyme leaves. Now this one I don't necessarily measure much. I just kind of dump it in there. But we're just going to go give it a good shake till we got a decent amount in now. I'll give you a look-see inside the pot here. Get ourselves situated here. As y'all can see, a little bit of thyme in there and all the peppers and the spices. Bring you back over here to the table. Now, next up we're going to do the granulated youngin. The youngin, I like to do about 30. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Actually, I think 20 is about right. Yeah, let's go with 20. That seems real nice. Now, these next two I perfected over the years. This is my special ratio. I do 30 to 3 less than 30. So here we're going to count out the 30. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Get that all situated, y'all. Now we take our oregano. The oregano, you want to do 3 less than 30. So we go 30, 29, 28, 27. Okay, so we want to do 27. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. That's 27. Gives you a look, y'all. Get all nice mix. Now our next step is going to be to mix it all together real nice. So I'm going to grab my Betty Crocker spoon. And we're just going to give her a nice mix. Get it all nice and mixed up. You can start to smell it all coming. You can really smell that cumin in there. And you can really smell the garlic and the peppers and the youngins. It smells all nice. Now, it's going to take tomato paste. We're going to open it. Thusly. Well, grab us an opener thingy, a knife. Pop her open, like so. Gonna get right in there and pull her out. Every last little drop of her. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get every little bit of paste out of there, but if y'all know your best, get it right out of there. And don't cut yourself on the top there. That's never a fun time. Kind of hurts a little bit. Well, now, you're going to want to take your spoon here and y'all kind of mix it all up together now. Get that tomato all nice and incorporated. Then we're going to take our diced tomatoes here. We're going to put them on y'all. Get these out the way, they're taking too much room. Right around rubbing, like so. Now grab our little knife, y'all. We're gonna pry her open. Like so. And just dump her right in there. Get all the little tomatoes out of there and all the seasoning. Now, you're gonna mix her up real nice. Get that all nice and incorporated. Gonna give us a look now. You can kind of see how nice it's looking in now. Nice and spaghetti-like. Now, get our camera situated again. Now, we're gonna open up our crushed tomato sauce. So, we're gonna go ahead and go right around rubbing again. Thusly. Give her a couple of cranks, get down around now. Grab our knife out and pry her open, like so. And dump her right in there. Sometimes it helps to grab your spoon and just kind of go in there and kind of wiggle it around a little bit till you get it out of there. Last one down. We're going to work on the other now. We're going to go on ahead here. Get your little clip out now. Like so. Right around rubbing once again. And get it nice and open. Thusly. Now, we're going to grab a knife. And pop her open now. Like so. Dump it right in there, just like before. Get all the nice sauce out of there, like so. And we're gonna mix it up all nice like. Once again, get it all nice and incorporated. Thusly. If only you could give her a smell. She's smelling real nice right about now. Too bad we ain't got that there smell-o-vision they talk about on the sci-fi. That'd be real nice right about now. Okay, now we've got to grab our balls. So, gonna grab my meat. Wrong refrigerator. Other. I was gonna start out by grabbing my sausage. So I got our sausage here. I like using the hot Italian sausage. So first we're gonna grab a rubber. Gotta have your rubbers. Sometimes it's hard to slide the rubber on your hand, but you know. There. Now. Gonna grab a pair of scissors. And I'm just gonna cut right across here with my really dull scissors that don't really cut that well no more. Probably should get me some of them now brand new ones, but you know. Now, when you're making your balls, you want to make your balls nice and small. You don't want them too big. You don't want to give somebody more meat than they can handle. No, just enough sausage. So I was going to grab a little bit, just a couple of fingers worth, and just kind of roll it in my fingers until I have a nice little ball about like that. Yeah, lighting's not the best, but I suppose you can see how small my ball is. And you just kind of put that right in there, push it into the sauce, and we're just gonna go ahead and do that again. And I'll spare you the monotony of watching me play with my sausage the whole time. You know, I'm gonna make some nice little sausage balls, and I'll bring you back once I'm finished, and we can start with playing with the meat. We get a ground beef in there and make our meatballs. We're gonna do the same damn thing. So we'll see you in just a moment. Now, we got my sausage balls all set now, so I'll give you a look. As y'all can probably see, got all my balls set across the stuff here. Now, you want to make sure when you're doing balls, you don't mix it up until after they're cooked. Otherwise, your balls are going to turn into just meat sauce. Then, well, kind of call it spaghetti meatballs when you just got chunks of meat floating around and eating the ball form, you know, whatnot. But now we's gonna go ahead and start doing our hamburger. So I'm gonna grab my ground beef, start doing basically the same thing. Okay, so now I'm going to want to grab a pair of rubbers, and now I don't know if I mentioned or not, but we want a pound of sausage and a pound of ground beef, one of each. This here is another pound. Oh, we got two rubbers on top of each other. We don't need that. Now, once again, I'm going to grab me a nice handful of meat. About 2 fingers worth. Going to make me a little ball. Thusly. And as you can see, we got a nice little meatball now. Now we're just going to tuck that right in there, along with the sausages. Want to have a nice little balls. Like I said, you know, you don't want your balls to be too big. You want to have a nice bite-sized size. Otherwise, one person gets all the meat and everybody else don't get none. And everybody wants a mouthful of meat. Nobody wants just a mouthful of pepper. Get this all nice and organized. Now, I was going to go ahead and get all meatballs all made up, and I'll bring you back once I got it all put together. Well, now I got my balls all made, so gonna give you a look at my balls. As y'all can see, these all nicely and put on top of there. I just like to press them in there just a little bit, and then from there I was gonna put a lid on top of it, so I'll go ahead and grab the lid now. Grab this lid. Gonna put this right on top, y'all. Now I should mention that I don't put no bread in my meatballs. I don't do the breadcrumbs and none of that stuff. I just like doing the plain meatballs. But if you have the breaded meatballs, they'd be real good too. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on top of the stove here. And I'll bring you around so y'all can have a nice look at it. Kind of dark over here though. But now, what I like to do is I put my sauce on the lowest setting possible. So on this, it says min, so for minimum. And I was going to leave it on there for at least about an hour. And I'll take a look, see. When the meatballs look like they're mostly done, then it's time to start stirring. And then we'll get there when we get there. But until we get there, I think it's time for a nice little commercial break. So we'll see you in just a moment. Bring you back once we're ready. This episode is brought to you by the World War III Chronicles, my fictional World War III series set in the year 2020 to 2022. The first book in my series is Operation Iranian Occupation. This is set in 2020. It's alternate history, so instead of COVID, we get World War III. In this book, President Trump orders the assassination of an Iranian general named Soleimani. In our world, nothing really happened. There was a little bit of commotion. In my world, the Iranians full-on annihilate a military base in Iraq, and in response, we go ahead and we fully invade. Our forces push right into Iran. Russia counters briefly, and there's kind of a tense conflict between the two. President Trump and Vladimir Putin get together, and there's a deal made. Russia will pull out of Iran and allow us to take Iran if we allow them to take Ukraine. That kind of kicks off a whole thing. So in book number 1 here, U.S. forces go right into Iran. It kind of starts off the series. I've got a fictional Illuminati in here that I've been working on for the past 10 years. I've taken a bunch of conspiracy theories and cherry-picked a few things and stuff, and you get a little peek here. And then book number 2, we get to see the Soviet Federation. Essentially, my fictional Illuminati makes its first big move. They wipe out the Russian government in a bunch of assassinations. Vladimir Putin is assassinated, and Alexei Molotov ascends to power, and he starts creating the Soviet Federation, completely redoes the economic system, completely redoes everything. You get to follow a few people throughout different sectors. You got military forces. You've also got some workers. Alexei decides he wants to do a massive superhighway from Moscow straight to the other side of Russia and have a seaport right directly across from Alaska. And you get to see their struggles and their horrendous working conditions, as well as, the war in Ukraine. To help visualize how my series is set up, I have here a little chart for you. So Operation Iranian Occupation starts my very first book in the series. This will be the first one you'll read if you want to read the series. And then from there you get to choose. So Birth of the Soviet Federation starts the Soviet Federation arc, or you could do NATO, China, Australia, Japan. My American Civil War, I'm not sure how many factions I'm going to have just yet. There's going to be a few. You can choose to start any of those. That'll be a good start. You can read any of these books in any order as long as you read Operation Iranian Occupation first. Allah's Children, Israel, South America, and Africa. Each chain of books, I'm planning on having 3 for each. So 3 Birth of the Soviet Federation, change, Soviet Federation books, 3 NATO, so on. And then at the very end of the series, I'm going to have 2 alternate endings. You'll get to choose. Do you want the ending where we kind of see what happens, or did you want the nuclear apocalypse, full on end of the world, irradiated zombies and fun sci-fi stuff, or we'll see what the New World Order looks like. But my goal right now is to have at least 1 book every other year, maybe every year, depending. But this kind of gives you a visualization of how my series is laid out. Now each book will have a little bit of Illuminati stuff. So if you read the whole series, every single book, you'll get a full picture of what the Illuminati's doing and everything. Or if you decide to only read one chain, you won't get a full picture of the Illuminati, but you'll get enough to kind of understand what they're doing. My series is going to kind of alternate. So as I release, it'll go America, Russia, China, and then I'll have my miscellaneous. These are going to be some conflicts in South America, Africa, and the Middle East. I've got a terrorist organization called Allah's Children. They're going to have their own set of books. There's a whole fun little thing I got planned for that. But if you're interested in these books, go ahead and check out Operation Iranian Occupation and Birth of the Soviet Federation. I'm on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, as well as a bunch of other ones like Kobo and Apple Books and a bunch of others. Now it's been a few hours already. We've been cooking for a while now. So now we're going to take a lid off and take a gander at it. As y'all can probably see now, the meatballs are looking pretty good. Everything's looking nice. The water's starting to separate a little bit. But what we're going to do now is we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to grab my sugar here. There's 1 tablespoon of sugar. There's 2 tablespoons of sugar. And now you're going to want to stir it. So we're going here and we just carefully mix it all up nicely. Want to be careful not to break up your balls. You know, got some nice balls in there, you don't want to break them. Now as you can see, it's really quite watery. It's been probably about 2-3 hours. Simmering real slow. Get that all nice and mixed up now. Now, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to turn that up just a little bit to number 3. And now, I'm going to tab my lid. And I want to have it slightly ajar, like so. Because, well, first, give you another nice look in there. Oh boy, that's heavy. Now, get that situated. As y'all can see, got a little bit of a gap there. You want to have the steam be able to get out of there. And now I'll bring you back again once we's closer to being done. This will be the last time I bring you back before it's done. I just want to tell you, about every half hour or so, you want to give this a nice stir. And you keep it going until you get the right thickness that you want. Some people like the sauce a little more watery. Some people like a little more thick. I like my sauce nice and thick, but I don't mind a little watery now and then. Get some more steam going. But if you start stirring and you can feel it burning to the bottom of the pan, then it's automatically done. Otherwise you're going to start having burnt flavor in there. You don't want too much burnt flavor in there. I'll show you how we're looking right now. It's looking real good, almost done. I'm going to say probably another hour, so I'll bring you back for the final product when we start cooking the pasta. Hope you're enjoying so far. Well, now I'd say our sauce is at a point where we can start making our pasta. So I was going to fill this up with some water. And now I got to do gluten-free pasta, so I was going to do some of this here Bio Natura linguine. I like the gluten-free. I gotta have the gluten-free. I can't have the regular anymore, but I really like the Bio Natura. Once we get our water boiling, then we'll go ahead and we'll throw that in there. Now, I'm assuming you know how to boil pasta, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump back once our pasta is done. See you in just a moment. Well, at this point here, our pasta is done. So now, I'm going to go ahead and drain the water. Grab my pot holders. Now, got a little bit of pasta down stuck on the bottom, but we're just going to scrape that off best we can. Okay, now from this point on, what is next on my little to-do list, see if we can get our camera situated here. We're going to grab a little thing of pasta here, shake some of that water out of there and dump it right over here in this pan here that we just had. And now we can go ahead and start plating. So, I'm going to grab us a nice plate. Turn the burner off. Lost a little bit. Come on now, get off of the spoon. I have to grab me a fork. Ah, the struggles. Hey, there. Now, gonna reposition our camera a little bit here so we can see the pot better. As y'all can see here, we're gonna take the lid off of it. And my sauce is done. As we can take a gander here. Get it all nice. It's nice and thick. Got a lot of that water done burned off of it. Now, situate the camera again. Gonna grab our plate here. Some nice sauce on it. Okay. Now I'm going to bring a camera over here so we can get a good builder shot of her. Here. Take a nice look of it. That's our spaghetti. But, two more things that I'm going to add. Now I have a sensitivity to dairy. I should not have dairy products. But, periodically, I don't mind suffering just a little bit for a day. I'll go ahead and put some of this here grated Parmesan on there. Now, I love my grated Parmesan, I always have. When I got my dairy sensitivity, it broke my heart. But, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. There. Looks nice. Now I'm going to grab a couple leaves from a basil plant and that'll be our final garnish. Now I got my two little leaves here. Now I'm just going to spread them around real nice to make it look nice and pretty. You can really smell the fresh basil now. But yeah, That here is our